It's that time of year, ladies and gentlemen. Again, time to get extreme. Yep, Extreme Rules. Now, normally I always say it's the pay-per-view that somehow gets less and less extreme as each year goes on. I mean, look at last year's card, for goodness sake. We only had one Extreme Rules match. The WWE Championship should have friggin' main evented at that point, but nope, you'd rather have the Iron Man main event and get those people going at that damn clock like, like, shut up! Whatever, we're not here for that. What we are here for is a much more varied card, and we are in the land of extreme, Philadelphia. You might say they know a thing or two about extreme. ECW, of course. And the card this year has more variety than last year. I mean, we've got no holds barred, handicap, triple threat, last man standing, and this next one's a mouthful. Last chance, winners take all, mixed tag extreme rules match. Even though I feel the match that has that stipulation shouldn't have the extreme rules stipulation. It should be on a tougher other match somewhere. Oh, whatever, you get the idea. I'm Coffee Lover 239, and once again, always as with me is Heavy. Say hi, Heavy.
Hey, guys.
And without further ado, let's go. Alright, here's a little bit of a riddle. How do you try and do two separate rematches on the same show without making them look like just that? You combine them into one, of course. And this was what leads us into our first match. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, respectively the Universal Champion and Raw Women's Champion, versus Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans in a... I hope you're ready for this, folks. I already mentioned it earlier, but in case you're not, here goes again. Last chance, winners take all, mixed tag team extreme rules match for both the WWE Universal Championship and the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Hold on a moment. Oh yeah, that was a lot to get through. So how the hell do we even get this shit? And now Lacey Evans can't even escape the pull of Baron Corbin's mid-card vortex. So how do we get to here? Well, at Stomping Grounds, Becky Lynch retained the Raw Women's Championship against Lacey Evans, and later that night, Seth Rollins defended Universal Championship against Baron Corbin with a special guest referee of Corbin's choice. And Corbin chose Evans, who, during the match, changed the stipulation to being a no count-out, no disqualification match. Evans eventually attacked Rollins, more specifically low-blowed him, prompting Lynch to come to his aid, and Rollins retained his title. The following night on Raw, Corbin and Evans brawled with Rollins and Lynch and challenged them to a mixed tag team match. Rollins and Lynch agreed, as long as it would mean the end of their respective feuds. Corbin and Evans agreed as long as Rollins and Lynch each put their respective titles on the line. They agreed, and a last chance winner-takes-all mixed tag team match for both the Universal and Raw Women's Championships were scheduled for in Extreme Rules, and the Extreme Rules stipulation was added the following week. I don't even know. Like, why are we dragging this shit still on? The two champions against two charisma vacuums. I don't even understand. Like, oh, it just feels like so much. And again, it feels partially lazy for them to just keep going back to these two instead of trying to build something exciting up. Who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, to be honest, when this Extreme Rules... Oh no, hold barred. I don't even know what's anymore. It's the same
last
match.
chance, winner takes all Extreme Rules.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But when this got announced a few weeks back, my first thought was just an internal groan. I mean, this feud has gone on way longer than it should have. I mean, if we look at them both as single feuds, I think I'd give Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch a bit more leg room, because I don't mind Lacey Evans as a competitor. But I was done with Rollins and Corbin by Stomping Grounds. It's been done to death. And speaking of done to death, the acknowledgement of the real life relationship between Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. That just doesn't help the situation at all. They think it's good for the storyline, but every week of Michael Cole saying, "Hey guys, did you know that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are in a real life relationship?" Yeah, we get it. The last chance stipulation is the saving grace of this all. Next pay-per-view in the WWE calendar coming up in August next month, and for one, Seth and Becky should be the champions heading into that. I don't see how WWE could be insane enough to have Corbin and Lacey Evans going to SummerSlam as champions, and I don't think they'll do it. But at the same time, SummerSlam commands a more deserving top title feud for Rollins and Lynch. I'm glad this is over, and I think it's fairly obvious that Lynch and Rollins are going to pick up the win.
I have to agree with you there. And the whole relationship thing is, I feel it is getting overdone, how they have to mention the damn thing every week and all this crap. I feel like just chill out with it already, for the love of God. Yeah, it's better if just Seth and Becky retain. I shouldn't really be going any other way here. Yeah, Seth and Becky to retain. I don't really have anything else to add. Our next match is The Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre in a no-holds-barred tag team match. So at Super Showdown, Shane McMahon shockingly defeated Roman Reigns thanks to interference from Drew McIntyre. This led to a match between Reigns and McIntyre at Stomping Grounds, which Reigns won, despite Shane's multiple attempts to distract Reigns. On the following Raw, Wildcard guest Reigns, even though it feels like he should just be a free agent at this point, faced Shane and McIntyre in a handicap match where they dominated Reigns. As Shane went to the top rope to perform a coast-to-coast on Reigns, the lights went out. The Undertaker appeared and attacked both Shane and Drew. And a tag team match featuring Reigns and Undertaker against Shane and Drew was scheduled for Extreme Rules, and the match was made no-holds-barred the following week. So yeah, more of this Shane McMahon garbage. The Omni-Shade. Oh, if that's not bad enough, now Undertaker can't even escape the pull of the Omni-Shade. For real though, seriously, we've seen enough of Shane, and I'm kind of hoping that this is the beginning of the end of Shane McMahon's continued dominating push as the supposed best in the world, and I put that in quotes. And it seems like they're bringing in Undertaker with this whole ordeal because ratings haven't been so strong, and so they might need a big name as well. Supposedly, I heard that Undertaker wants to work a solo feud with Drew McIntyre, and that Undertaker handpicked Drew to challenge for whenever, hopefully WrestleMania, and actually have that be the final godforsaken match of The Undertaker, because he should have retired so long ago. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
Up next on matches that you'd see in Universe Mode if you sim too far, Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus the best in the world and Shane McMahon. This match is a little flimsy. I think the storyline is a bit odd. I know that Roman Reigns has been feuding with Shane and Drew for quite some time now, but the Undertaker kind of doesn't make any sense. I mean, sure, they had history at the WrestleMania match, and maybe Undertaker respects Roman, but that's as far as I can see it going. What I really think is happening here, because it doesn't make much sense for the Undertaker to show up, other than to raise ticket sales and for the act of nostalgia. And I hate when WWE do this. They bring in these 50-year-old guys, to fill a spot that a 30-year-old could fill easily. That goes for Shane McMahon too. Because the Undertaker's in this match, the match seems rather predictable to me. I don't think they'd have Undertaker lose. I know that Undertaker, being the professional and the traditionalist that he is, would like to go out on his back as he retires. But this isn't the match for him to retire. It's a SummerSlam against Drew McIntyre, like you said. I feel that I don't think Shane's going to get the pinfall loss here. I think they're genuinely moving him for a spot at the WWE title, and that makes me sick to my stomach. But I think it's going to happen. So I think that Undertaker's going to get away with McIntyre. McIntyre's going to want to, prove himself as a Scottish psychopath and someone who cannot be overlooked. An aging Undertaker, and then at SummerSlam, Drew ends the career of the dead man. But yeah, for now, I think it's going to be Roman Reigns and Undertaker picking up the victory here.
Yeah, I'm looking at this match. Yeah, Roman's been on a decent hot streak, sans Super Showdown 2019, but I'm not going to talk about that because it's like that show's not even canon. But anyway, sans some stuff. But yeah, looking at that, and Undertaker, again, looking for it now, it would make sense, I suppose, to have Undertaker. Would make sense, though, I suppose, for the Undertaker and Roman to start off early on, and maybe we can just stop there, or maybe not quite. At least I think Roman should be done with Shane by this point, but given the promo that Kevin Owens cut on the SmackDown before this pay-per-view, I think he should be next, probably, to feud with Shane McMahon, at least. And it seems like this could be that. I'm hoping it is the beginning of the end for Shane's continued push. I'm kind of doubtful, but that would be nice. And then have Roman move on to whatever. And then Kevin Owens can feud with Shane, and Undertaker can feud with Drew. So I'm going to go with Undertaker and Roman for this one. Our next match is Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe in a plain old singles match for the WWE Championship. First non-stipulated match on the card, but it's still an interesting one nonetheless, even though Samoa Joe is supposed to be on Raw. But I digress. This wildcard bullshit really needs to die. I'm hoping it does when Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff officially take over, but yeah, let's just get into this match. On the June 24th episode of Raw, after WWE Champion Kofi Kingston defeated both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in consecutive singles matches, both Kingston and Owens appearing via wildcard rule, Kingston was randomly attacked by Samoa Joe, who performed a urinage on Kingston. As referees tended to the champion, Joe returned and applied the Coquina Clutch on Kingston. Kingston was subsequently scheduled to defend the WWE Championship against Joe at Extreme Rules. On the following SmackDown, Dolph Ziggler, who Kingston had retained the title against at Stomping Grounds, faced Kingston in a 2 out of 3 falls match, which they've been doing for some time because no wrestling during breaks now or some bullshit like that, in which if Ziggler won, he would have been added to the championship match, but he was unsuccessful. Oh, and Joe tried to shake hands with Kofi to promise something that those he loved wouldn't get hurt, but Kofi flipped him the bird because we have to bring back a little bit of edge. Not that edge, but oh, fuck it. So, on the surface, if you look past the wild card garbage, this actually does look like a promising match. I mean, both of these two have put on some pretty good stuff in the past, and I don't see why this match shouldn't be that bad. It should be pretty good at. Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, going into this match, it pains me to say this in a way because I do love Kofi and I love his WrestleMania title win, and I did love the first few months of his
First few months.
Yeah, I think it's getting a bit stale now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because there's no, I wouldn't say credible challenges, but there's no, established names. I mean, maybe you could argue Dolph Ziggler and maybe Kevin Owens, but these are guys who, if you really look, if we're calling a spade, they are mid-carders. And Kofi, if you could summarize Kofi's reign, is a mid-carder trying to get elevated to a main eventer. And you know what? They've done a pretty good job of protecting him. He hasn't lost that many matches, maybe a handful. He's been booked as a strong champion, but championship reign can only go so long, before it gets a bit boring. Samoa Joe, on the other hand, I mean, Samoa Joe, he's not had that great much luck in the main roster so far. I mean, Brock Lesnar wasn't too bad, but didn't get the Universal title there. He had what felt like 1,000 matches against AJ for the title, last summer. Actually had a SummerSlam match against him there, and he lost all of them. Then to his credit, he won the United States Championship. But as first defense, he lost against Ray. He basically gives it back to him, and he chokes him out. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest. Who do I think is going to win? I don't know. On one hand, you have Kofi. Possibly the best place for him to lose will be SummerSlam. Give him a good 6 months with the title. Not 6 months, but it feels like a half year at this point.
Yeah.
On the other hand, how many times is Samoa Joe going to get this WWE title opportunity before he wins it? Is he ever going to win it if he can't win it here? And I always harken back to Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker when Lesnar took the streak. Lesnar was like, a 50-year-old man could be a freak athlete like me. And I put it like this. Do you seriously think, Kofi can't roll him up again? The amount of times that Kofi has rolled up, the amount of times that a smaller superstar has rolled up Samoa Joe, and then Samoa Joe has that shocked look on his face mere seconds later, you'd think he's learned from that by now. Victory for Kofi. I think it could be Joe's time. It actually could be. Obviously, there was reports a few days back that Kofi has injured himself in a match against Dolph Ziggler, and I think it's leg. I believe it's
I know.
It's back.
It's back. Yeah, back injury.
Yeah, it's back. So he can't be 100%, and even if he is, maybe that's something WWE can play into. And I'm going with my head and my heart. I want Samoa Joe to win, and I think he will.
Well, there's a problem with that. Like I already stated, Joe's a Raw guy, so what the hell are they even gonna do if he does win it? Are they gonna freaking throw him on SmackDown then all of a sudden? Like, that... See, this is what happens when you let this wildcard bullshit seed in too much into the pay-per-views. Because now, look, we're in a tough situation here at this point. Yes, I can see that Kofi's reign is starting to get a bit stale, honestly. And there's only so much you can do so much. And you mentioned Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens. Forget Dolph Ziggler. He keeps singing the same BS phrase that I'm not even going to make. By the way, they actually fucking made a t-shirt out of that shit. And that's just as bad as that whole The Man's Man shirt. Oh my god, both of those should go burn in hell. I have better design. I could probably make some custom shirts that look better than those. And looking at this, though, Joe is a Raw guy ultimately, and Kofi's still SmackDown. So, unless they want to make champions wildcards, but... Oh, god damn it, we're in a terrible situation. Just, okay, not terrible, but... I just don't know. I don't know what to even think. You know what? I'm probably going to have to go the opposite of the way you're going and go with Kofi. But, until they could fully work some stuff out, like, maybe they could play into his back injury. Maybe it won't exactly be a clean victory. There might be some disqualifications involved where, oh, maybe Joe may win via DQ or whatever, some other shit. But Kofi's still the champ, and they can still play off that, figure out time what to do. Or, so what do? Do we bring Joe back to SmackDown, or do we try and get someone else? Oh shit, I forgot to mention, and you mentioned Kevin Owens as well, but he's going a more babyface route as of late. They've got him back on track where they won him, so that might take a little while to build him back up. But I don't know. You said Joe, but I'm gonna have to go the opposite because of this whole mess. Because I still don't think they're probably gonna take the belt off Kofi just yet. I know merch sales and New Day's merch sales have been slowing down a little bit as of late, but ultimately, they have to hold on just a little bit longer. And then I think at SummerSlam, he'll be dethroned, like I said. By who? I'm not sure. I've said Randy Orton in the past, but seeing as how Orton's not going to be the one facing Alistair Black, yeah, who knows what's going to happen with him. But I'm going to have to go with Kofi on this one. Our next match is Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in a handicap match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. So, while in the last match we may have drawn a written ourselves into a corner, or when I say they wrote themselves into a corner by booking Kofi and Joe here, this one is, well, we don't really have too much of a corner to be backed into, but still, like I said, wildcard bullshit seeping through. So, at Stomping Grounds, Bayley retained the SmackDown Women's Championship against Raw's Alexa Bliss. Nikki Cross, who was in Bliss's corner, felt it was her fault that Bliss lost as she tried attacking Bayley during the match, and it did not go well. On the following SmackDown, wildcard guest Cross was granted a match against Bayley in which if she won, Bliss would get a rematch. And somehow, Cross actually fucking won. And for some reason, yeah, we decided to get another fucking rematch. Actually, rematch of Stomping Grounds, which I was not looking forward to initially. On the July 8th episode of Raw, Cross and wildcard guest Bayley both competed in a Beat the Clock challenge in which the winner deciding the stipulation of Bayley and Bliss's championship match, and Cross defeated Dana Brooke quicker than Bayley could defeat Sarah Logan. And Cross decided that the championship match would be a handicap match with Cross teaming with Bliss against Bayley. So now looking at it, it's very interesting here, because on one hand, it's like, oh, I'm not looking forward to this, I will skip it, especially given what happened the last time Bayley and Alexa faced off at Extreme Rules. Ooh, but now the tables have turned, and we have a handicap match. And Bayley has been sort of trying to get into Nikki's head, trying to get her away from Alexa Bliss, claiming that she's manipulating her and stuff, and asking her, oh, well, if you did, then why aren't you getting this title match instead of Alexa? And I think how this catalyst could potentially set up a feud, like a turn on between Bliss and Cross, and then we could have a match later down the line. Maybe SummerSlam, I don't know. What I do know, though, is, well, we've got these, it's a little more varied, at least this time around, to try to make things a little different, but I don't know. And also, I do know that we could have, like, if actually Alexa does end up winning, or Nikki, we could have this whole co-champions thing again here. Because, like, I remember, wasn't it at, what was it, last year's Royal Rumble? It was, AJ Styles was the WWE champion at the time, and essentially, yeah, and it was another handicap match then, kind of like that situation, but he was defending against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And basically, they also mentioned in that promo, though, they could be first co-champions or some whatever. Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, most people, just looking at it on paper, I'd say they go for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I think that if any match on SummerSlam deserves a title be involved with it, it's the feud between Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. This whole Bliss manipulating Cross into being her puppet and doing her dirty work, I've enjoyed it pretty much. It gives Nikki Cross something to do. I'm a fan of both Bliss and Cross, and not much of a fan of Bayley, but she's done good as a champion so far, so I can't fault her for that. I want to mention on Raw that Nikki Cross, when speaking, I think she was either speaking to Bayley or Alexa, she mentioned that Bayley should find a friend because she is in hella deep.
She was speaking to Bayley.
She should find a friend,
yeah.
And of course, with if you partner that quote up with some sources claiming that Sasha Banks' return is imminent, I don't see why a return couldn't be made here. It will be a feel good moment to have Sasha come back. As much as we think she's either going to AEW or she's sitting out her contract, there's been rumors that there's been positive negotiations between her and Vince. I think Sasha's going to come back to even the odds, and that will not only allow Bayley to retain the title, but for the tension between Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to gradually increase. Even if just a little bit, because I really want to see him go head to head to SummerSlam. I think this feud needs a payoff worthwhile. It's been a good feud. maybe not one of the highlights of the show, but it's definitely been consistent in its storytelling, I feel. So I think Bayley's going to win with the help of the legit boss.
Well, if there is any better place for Sasha Banks to return, it's definitely this pay-per-view here. I mean, the cards are seemingly lining up. This is their chance to actually do something here. Like, this is it. Like, I've heard the rumors, yeah, that they're back, like, they're in better terms and that her return could definitely happen. I think this would be the good place that they have her return. And yeah, that would definitely even the odds so Bayley could retain. And then it makes me wonder what is going to be next, though, for Bayley if she does retain. I mean, like I said, there's not a whole lot of people still going for challenging, considering you have Ember Moon still wasting time with Fire and Desire. And when you look at who else is on the SmackDown side of things, whatever. We can handle that another time here. But, yeah, looking who's going to win here, yeah, I think Bayley's going to. I see that she's still doing a decent job as champ. It's going much better probably than the whole Raw Women's Championship reign she had a couple years back, so I don't see why they pull the plug on it all so suddenly, unless they want to get the title involved in Alexa and Nikki. But even then, what happens if Sasha comes back, then all 4 women and a big-ass fatal 4-way or something for SummerSlam. Oh. Whatever. I'm going with Bayley to retain. Our next match is Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese in a plain old singles match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. So, on the Stomping Grounds pre-show, Drew Gulak defeated former champion Tony Nese and Akira Tozawa in a triple threat match by pinning Tozawa to win the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. On the following episode of 205 Live, Nese defeated Tozawa to earn a rematch against Gulak at Extreme Rules. So yeah, still no automatic rematches? Meh, screw that shit. We'll find a way to exclude it. Well, to be fair, he's got more claim because Nese didn't get pins in the triple threat at Stomping Grounds. But now here at least had some claim, I guess. But yeah, looking at it, it's kind of a little bit so sudden. Tony Nese only had a reign of 77 days when you can compare it as Cruiserweight Champion. When you compare that to Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy, it's like, geez, you think it would have lasted a little longer? But I guess they decided, that'd be too predictable, let's change it up. And to be fair, Drew Gulak is a good asset for 205 Live. I mean, he's pretty good and all, and he's revamped this character a bit too, so no more of that whole goofy make 205 Live great again. No, he's gotten down more serious, and look at that. Paid off, because he's the Cruiserweight Champion, and now Nese is getting a shot at him again. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
I totally agree with you on the fact that Drew Gulak is a great asset to 205 Live, been there from the beginning, since the Cruiserweight Classic. Ever since he's been more serious, no more PowerPoint presentations, no more pickup signs, no more no-flies. I'm not sure if he's still doing that, but if he's not, credit to him. He's wearing all black, even his gear shows that he is there, he means business. And I think he's been long overdue the title. He's been consistently good on that brand, even if the content he's been given isn't been that great. Nese, 77 days as a champion. I never thought, like, compared to the Nevilles and the Cedric Alexanders and the Buddy Murphys, that he could click with the audience as much as they could. All of them were either good, great baby faces, or just absolute dominant heels that just look so good in what they do. Tony Nese is good, but I feel like he's a caliber just a bit below what the other champions have given us in the past. Yeah, so it was a very short reign, and I don't expect 205 Live to go in the same direction with their belts. I don't expect there to be another short reign in the works here. I think it's best for the it's best for the 205 Live brand. It's best for Drew Gulak, and in many ways, it's best for Tony Nese, so that it doesn't get stale. Just hold the title yet again. I feel it's better if the title goes a bit longer, has a longer reign than 77 days. Tony Nese did good with the title, but I think it's time for 205 Live to step in the right direction, and that's to have Drew Gulak retain here against Tony Nese and go on a respectable and, more importantly, durable reign.
Yeah, I think the revamping for Gulick probably helped them out so much, like giving him a further push, and I think he probably will have a longer reign than Tony Nese, and probably be right up there with Cedric and Buddy. Yeah, I think it's probably better that we do have Gulak retain ultimately. I think he's got probably a lot to give for that belt. Our next match is Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan versus The New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods versus Heavy Machinery, Otis Dozovic and Tucker Knight in a triple threat tag team match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So, at Stomping Grounds, Daniel Bryan and Rowan retained the belts against Heavy Machinery. On the following SmackDown, New Day's Big E and Xavier Woods defeated the champions in a non-title match, earning a title match at Extreme Rules. Even though I feel like there's other teams that should have been involved, but I digress. Anyways, the following week, Heavy Machinery faced a team of Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler, in which the winning team would be added to the title match. Heavy Machinery thankfully won and earned their way into the title match at Extreme Rules, and it became a triple threat match. So yeah, we're still trying to get the division a little back on track here. We are kind of in the right direction. Admittedly, we probably need New Day to help out, because, man, the SmackDown Tag Division has been very, very lackluster. Like, all the other teams that are there are just lower-ended teams that pretty much look like they should be chasing R-Truth for the 24/7 championship. By the way, isn't it funny that the 24/7 title's literally defended everywhere else except pay-per-views? I digress. Anyways, so, yeah, I mean, these teams are all still pretty good, though, and we should still have a pretty good match on our hands. Heaty, who do you think's gonna win?
I agree. If this match is given a decent amount of time, it will be it could be maybe a match in like contender, but it will definitely be a solid matchup. All of these teams are good in their own ways. You've got New Day, you've got with their explosive offense, with their some say high flying. If you had Kofi in there, but that good like cruiserweight, heavyweight dynamic between Xavier Woods and Big E, the henchman and the person, the puppet and the puppet master, really with Bryan and Rowan, and you just have Heavy Machinery to use charisma. Yeah, you mentioned the tag team division is pretty much on its knees at the moment, or at least it was before Heavy Machinery got added to the mix. I mean, besides these three teams, who have we got? I mean, I'm pretty sure the clones on SmackDown. They broke up the bar. Maybe what? I'm not sure if it's because of Sheamus' injury, but who knows? And AOP's on the shelf, but I think they're on Raw. But with this wildcard rule, who knows? So, as much as I think this division needs a new breath of fresh air, that doesn't necessarily have to mean we have to have new champions. Bryan and Rowan are doing a great job as champions right now. I feel they deserve to head. I think they deserve to head into SummerSlam as a tag champions. Maybe another match with Heavy Machinery where they can finally get their crown moment, and then we can properly rebuild the SmackDown tag division, because right now it's not as good as it should be right now. Machinery's time will come. I do not think it's this Sunday. And although I think Big E and Xavier Woods would be so cool to see Kofi as a WWE champion alongside the SmackDown Tag Team Champions and his partners, Woods and E. I think it's going to be of attention for the Environmentalist squad, Bryan and Rowan, to attain.
Environmentalist squad. That's a good one. I was more thinking, the Planeteers, or at least I can say for Daniel Bryan, evil heel vegan Planeteer Daniel Bryan. But yeah, honestly, I suppose you're right. I mean, they are doing a fine job as champs, but they were part makeshift. Well, not fully makeshift. I mean, Bryan and Rowan have had history before in the past, but yeah, it just, I don't know, I guess we'll have to hold on just a little bit longer and hope for the best. I'm sure Heavy Machinery will win later on at some point. Maybe SummerSlam. New Day don't really need the reign all that much. I mean, they're 5-time tag team champs. So, Yeah, I think it'd be better if Daniel, Bryan, and Rowan go ahead and retain here. Save the big win for SummerSlam. Our next match is Alistair Black versus Cesaro in another plain old singles match. So yeah, all that promo purgatory hell you were wondering that Black was stuck into, what the hell could have all been building up to? Well, this is what it was building up to. A match with Cesaro. So since being drafted to SmackDown during the 2019 Superstars shakeup in April, Alistair Black began appearing in ominous backstage promos in a dark room awaiting a challenger. Awaiting a challenger. Well, remember, boys and girls, opportunity knocks just once. Or did it? On the June 25th episode of SmackDown, there was a knock on Black's door indicating that someone had accepted his challenge. The following week, however, Black stated that no one was at his door when he answered and he would be waiting for them at Extreme Rules. On the July 9th episode, Raw's Cesaro was revealed as the mystery challenger. Oh no! Oh, that's 3 wild card nonsense shit in a row. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Like, well, I had a feeling it was either going to be Cesaro or Randy Orton. But what brand is Orton on? Now, Orton's still on SmackDown. At least you wouldn't have any wild card nonsense then. I digress, though. I mean, these two are definitely very good in the ring. Cesaro has been getting a stronger push as of late. If you've seen any of his recent TV appearances, he's been looking a lot stronger. So he could be probably a credible challenger here to old Alistair Black. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, first of all, I'd like to point out the idiocy of one Alistair Black. He's been cutting these promos for the past few weeks, saying how I want to fight someone, but no one wants to fight me, just knock on my door. Here's the thing, I don't think anyone knows where the door is. I mean, I probably found it after, you know, going AWOL off the 24/7 championship run. What that is. Look, getting back to the point, does this match would not look outplaced on the Takeover or WrestleMania card? And the card fixing rules, which looks at it with the addition, could be the addition of Balor and Nakamura for the IC title. We could be looking at north of 10 matches for Extreme Rules. So it's fairly obvious that this match will not get this won't get the time it deserves to really stand out. It wouldn't have time to grow as like a potential 4-star, maybe even 5-star match. It won't get that time, and that makes me sad. But I don't believe Cesaro has a main roster singles pay-per-view match in a few years now. I can't think back to any time that's, maybe not, I don't think it was last year, maybe not even the year before. So it's good that he's getting the spotlight, as well as Alistair Black, who's finally getting that debut on the main roster. So who's going to win this? If you would have told me that it could have been like Bray Wyatt or someone else of that ilk, I'd say I can tell you, and it will be like WWE booking themselves into a corner again, because Bray Wyatt has definitely seriously repackaged recently. But with Cesaro, it's a small repackage. It's the change of the theme song. It's the change of the ring gear. But just different colors, different lights, all that jazz. As much as I don't want Cesaro to lose, because I feel like he is one of the most talented and overlooked, underrated members of the roster today, I feel like it's essential, it's vital to Alistair Black's career if he does not get off from the right foot and gets a victory on his debut, and especially doing against Cesaro, someone who's been such a stalwart of the main roster for better part of 6 years now, maybe. Yeah, I think Cesaro can bounce back from this, but Alistair Black would not be able to bounce back from a debut loss. It wouldn't be good. And I guess we could say he's had his debut in January or February, but we're talking about like he's a bona fide main roster competitor. He's and it's his first singles pay-per-view match. So yeah, I think it's essential that he wins, and I do think Alistair Black is going to win at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, that would make more sense for Black to win. Like, even if Cesaro loses, he's probably still going to be pushed pretty damn good. Like, for whatever time they have for this match, I imagine these two are probably going to give it all they have against each other. But ultimately, Cesaro's going to come up just a little bit short against Black. But he'll still go on, tear it up on Raw, and who knows, he may enter the U.S. title picture. Well, shit, it'd be a nice, refreshing break, even though he's probably... Hasn't he already held that belt before, though? One quick second here. We open this page up, and... Where is it? Championships and accomplishments. Yeah, only one time, though, he held the belt. Only one friggin' time, and that was... Oh my god, that was back in 2012. Holy shit. He had a long reign, though. That was like back at SummerSlam 2012. Oh my god. So I guess you could say it has been a while since he held it, but yeah, I'm going with Alistair on this one. Our next match is Ricochet versus AJ Styles for the WWE United States Championship. So after Ricochet won the U.S. Championship at Stomping Grounds, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles congratulated the new champion during his subsequent photo shoot. The following night on Raw, Styles defeated Ricochet in a non-title match, and Styles showed mutual respect for Ricochet. In a title match, though, the following week, Ricochet retained against Styles. After the match, Gallows and Anderson attempted to enter the ring, stating that they wanted the old AJ Styles. Styles held them off only to attack Ricochet himself, thus turning heel. Gallows and Anderson also joined in on the attack, reuniting the club, and another title match between Ricochet and Styles was scheduled for Extreme Rules. So it's kind of nice that we've gotten the club all back together. It gives Gallows and Anderson something to do, seeing as how they were virtually doing fuck all up to this point, practically. I mean, they had like one Raw Tag Team title reign, but that was it. When they were drafted to SmackDown, they barely did anything. They were barely on the show unless they absolutely needed to be. And so, yeah, and then they were going back to Raw, barely there as well. But then AJ got drafted to Raw, so, yeah, we got them all back together. It gives them all at least a little something to do. I think AJ's got his major main event run out of the way, and still, though, it's kind of nice, and even though they've already faced off, I'm still hoping with a little more time on pay-per-view they can tear the house down. Healy, who do you think's going to win?
If I could liken the club to anything in real life, it's like that best friend who your parents don't really want you to hang out with, but you know, they're so fun to hang out with, they bring out a wild side in you, they're a bad influence. I think that the club are like that. I think AJ, without the club, he's just this good old babyface who just plays it by the book and could just deliver great matches, but with a club, something just clicks in him. Something just makes him want to be a bit more of a dick to other people when the club are around. I don't know, but I think the club and Styles are good together. Without the Styles, I don't think Luke Gallows and Cole Anderson will stay afloat on the main roster any longer. I mean, they had that title run early 2017, I believe. They won the World Tag Team titles, and apart from that, I don't think they've had any other standout moments in the WWE, which is a real shame because New Japan, former IWP Tag Team champions, they really were, they've really been squandered over here. So maybe this renewed push for the club, the second coming of the club after back in 2016, I believe. 2016. I feel like this is something that can finally rejuvenate the careers of the club, and to a lesser extent AJ, see where AJ can go from this. He's been a bit stagnant recently, not really doing much on the main roster. But we've seen 50-50 booking where AJ beat Ricochet clean in the first encounter, and of course AJ did win the US title on Raw, but it got reversed so that didn't match and count, and Ricochet got the victory. So we're looking at one apiece. This is the confirmed rubber match between the two. start, this was just going to be a thing where AJ would move on after attacking Ricochet, and this was just like a catalyst to probably turn the club heel. Yeah, they're going for it, and I don't mind it. They're two great competitors. They have great in-ring chemistry, and if they're given time, I think they can oust Alistair Black versus Cesaro off the perch of being the best match at a pay-per-view. So, who I think is going to win? A part of me wants to say that Ricochet will not lose a pay-per-view, not lose a title, a pay-per-view after winning it. I think that's not good for his character. But on the other hand, is AJ really about to lose two United States title matches? Charisma and the ability of this character? I don't know. I think that Ricochet retaining the title outweighs AJ losing twice in a row. Against my better judgment, and I just know it's going to go the other way. But I'm going to go with my gut here, and I think Ricochet's going to somehow retain.
There's probably going to be some interference on the club's behalf. There's going to be some shenanigans, probably more than likely. So this might not even be a clean match, so who knows? AJ might actually only win via DQ, but Ricochet will still be champion. Ultimately, though, I'm not sure about that. That seems like it would be a little too much here. I don't know if it's too much, but it would be a little bizarre. I don't know. Just trying to find it, but the words, but it's a little tough. It'd probably be better if Ricochet retains. Yeah, I'm probably just going to go with Ricochet for now, but who knows? There will probably be some interference, so we'll see. Our next match is Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley in a last man standing match. So yeah, at Super Showdown, Braun Strowman defeated Bobby Lashley on the June 17th episode of Raw. Strowman and Lashley competed in a fatal 5-way match for an opportunity at the US title at Stomping Grounds, where Strowman eliminated Lashley, who in turn helped Strowman get eliminated. The following week, Strowman defeated Lashley in a tug-of-war match, after which Lashley attacked Strowman. And then, a Falls Count Anywhere match on the July 1st episode of Raw ended in a no contest after, well, Strowman tackled Lashley through the LED video wall of the entrance. And that was an OMG moment, if I ever did see one. And both were taken to a hospital. It's his local medical facility here, but On the July 8th edition of Raw, it was announced that Strowman and Lashley would compete in a last man standing match at Extreme Rules. So up until the whole Titantron LED video wall exploding thing, I wasn't really too interested, and I thought that was going to be the last of the feud after Super Showdown. But then after that OMG moment happened, I'm like, okay, now you have my interest again. And now it's a last man standing match, which makes it even better, actually. Because now these two behemothly sweaty men can really go at each other until only one of them remains standing. Heathie, who do you think's gonna win?
First and foremost, I'm not sure what other people think, but personally, I feel that the build has been pretty good heading into this tug of war. It can go 50-50 on people's opinions, but I enjoyed it, especially the crashing through the wall stage, roll the Titantron, the just that whole LED get up of that. Side note, I wish they would make that into make it an excuse to make a new war stage, but I digress. So yeah, this match is the last standard match between two forces, powerhouses who just want to beat the absolute crap out of each other. You can't really mess that up. Go back and watch, if you don't believe me, go back and watch Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Or even if you want to go even further than that, go back and watch Roman Reigns versus The Big Show. Everyone slept on that match and it turned out to be a pretty good one. So this is a match I'm quietly confident that will be a good match and something I am looking forward to. Who's going to win this match? I'm of the opinion that the winner of this match has a strong case to go for the Universal title. Be though, on one hand you have Braun Strowman looking to build back some momentum after not not really having the best of moments recently. I mean, of course, you had the WrestleMania Battle Royal. He did win it, but he was facing two SNL guys. In retrospect, but I think at the same time they're trying to rebuild Lashley's credibility as a powerhouse, and it wouldn't hurt to see him go for the Universal title against Seth in August SummerSlam. Damn, this is a tough one because there's no disqualification, there's no count. Well, there's count outs, 10 count, but no count outs outside the ring, no pinfalls. Those are the stipulations in which a clear, decisive winner is decided upon. Definitive winner, there's not my prediction, I think, but if there is, it's going to be Strowman. My official prediction is that this will end up a no contest.
Ooh, a no contest, huh? In other words, both men go down for the count, and neither one can get up. A draw. Ooh, that would attract some ire. And another excuse to drag out the feud longer. Honestly, yeah, both men do have cases. I've kind of heard that Paul Heyman, because he technically does have a head start for working on Raw compared to Eric Bischoff, since Heyman's there usually at least every week, and he's part of an on-screen character, but already he has a bit of an advantage, and I've heard rumors that he wants to re-push Braun Strowman and get him back to his roots as a wrecking machine. And I think that would be good because Braun Strowman, oh dear. There has been some real shit with him involved. The whole fucking Nicholas thing from last year. Ugh. The whole SNL guys thing. What was it? Colin Jost, Michael Che, whatever the fuck their names were. I forgot. But yeah, the whole thing with those and the whole Andre Battle Royale, and then the whole thing with Bobby here, up until that whole video exploding thing, yeah, that has kind of been a bit of a rough road for Braun Strowman as of late. Almost to the point where they've ruined him a little bit, but I feel he needs to build himself back up, and this feud seemingly is the right path. On the other hand, Bobby Lashley, yeah, he's been a little just there, not really doing much. He lost his mouthpiece, Leo Rush, so yeah, that's gotta sting a little bit. And Leo's just up and vanished, but that's another topic. You know what? I think it'll probably benefit Braun Strowman, because they've got to get him back up there, and Paul Heyman wants to re-push him, build him back up. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Braun Strowman on this one. And last but certainly not least, the Revival. Dawson and Wyatt, Dashing Dawson. Blah, you give me all confied. Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder versus Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, in a plain old tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. So on the Super Showdown pre-show, the Usos defeated the Revival. And on the following episode of Raw, both competed in a triple threat tag team title match against the Raw Tag Team Champions Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, in which the Revival won for some stinking reason to become new champions. Isn't that sad? Kurt Hawkins finally breaks his losing streak, but then loses the titles, and now he's part of that gaggle of idiots chasing R-Truth. Or, not R-Truth, or whoever the 24/7 champ is. Now it's Drake Maverick, but Truth's gonna find a way to get that belt back somehow. I just know it. And the Revival were scheduled to defend the Raw Tag Team Championships against the Usos at Extreme Rules, because I guess they haven't faced off enough times as is, so we're gonna have them face off some more. Guess we're still trying to get the the War Raiders back on track. I guess in due time they'll probably win at SummerSlam or something. I don't know. Who do you think's gonna win?
Just like the SmackDown Tag Team division, this division is floundering. But besides the Revival, the Usos, the War Raiders, and the Edgeheads, as they were commonly known a decade ago, I cannot tell you with a gun to my head who else is in that division, and you cannot have a division with 4 tag teams. Even if there's more, and I'm sure there is, you can't have a tag team division where you only know 4 tag teams. It's lousy booking by the WWE. I think SummerSlam is definitely the point where WWE have to hit the reset button, much like they did in 2016 with the brand split coming into full effect the night after. And you could make an argument for for any one of these 2 teams, the rival or the Usos leading a charge into the new era. It's Ryder and Hawkins. I can't see them going for the title again. They'll be lower mid card at best, maybe mid card if in a real stretch. The War Raiders, they should be tag champions right now, but they for the whole name change, the whole name changing stuff that we give them with on a week basis for almost a month, and now we have no idea where they are.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw them chasing the 24/7 title down, but that's the division for you. To lack of a better term, it is absolutely pathetic. Who I think is going to win this match? It's one of them things where it's a knife edge. You could chop it either way, and it makes somewhat sense. A bit like Kofi and Joe. One of these 2 hitting into SummerSlam as tag team champions would be okay with either team. The Revival, some people got to pay them their dues. They've done so well with what they've had, even with the godforsaken Uzi-Hot and all that malarkey. It was awful, and the Usos too. I mean, I believe if they do win on Sunday, that will be their 7th tag team title reign. They will be reaching Dudley levels, not before too long. Okay, so flipping a coin in my head here, and I think both of them would make good champions heading into the 2nd biggest pay-per-view of the year and the biggest one of the summer. I think just for the sake of, I don't think there's going to be many title changes. I think I'm going to go with the Usos to pick up the win.
Interesting. Yeah, as for me, well, looking at it, I heard rumors that they wanted to do War Raiders versus Usos at SummerSlam, but honestly, you can't go wrong with the Revival either way. I don't know. Not sure I should see that many changes, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if they get the Usos in to try to get some revitalization of the division before War Raiders, or they're currently known Viking Raiders, to get back up there. I mean, they're rebuilding back up. Recently, Viking Raiders had a squash, I believe, on the most recent Raw episode. They squashed a weekly tag team. So, yeah, they're just still waiting for their chance. No, I'm just going to go with the Revival for now. They could probably drag the Usos stuff on, or better yet, we could have a triple threat at SummerSlam with the Revival, Usos, and War Raiders. That would be something. Yeah, I'm just going to go with the Revival for now, because then they'll probably drag on like with the Usos in this feud, or whatever's left of the division, and then War Raiders will come into the foray, and yeah, triple threat SummerSlam. Yeah, I got the idea. I'm going with the Revival. And that's going to be it. Excuse me there. But yeah, that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. The card itself does at least show some promise. A good promise, admittedly. It is more varied than last year, and I'd say it should turn off a decent show. I mean, we're in Philly. We know how they can be sometimes. But yeah, hopefully this show does turn out good, at least enough. And who knows where we're going to be come SummerSlam. I want to thank Heathy once again for being with me as always. Say bye, Heathy.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, anytime, man. And we will see you for SummerSlam when that happens. So until then, thanks for watching and bye for now.